Kingsley Mamabolo.
Good evening. Can you hear me? Yes. But before we start, let me apologize for the delay. We all know that traffic. You can't really determine what direction it's going to take. And we want to apologize. We should have started. Secondly, before I start my speech, let me also congratulate our UK England team. South Africa, we were with you all the way. Let me tell you something that as far as we are concerned, your boys should not be ashamed of anything. They should hold their heads. Honorable Minister Gayton McKenzie and Patricia Vernon, my lords, members of the House of Commons and ladies, University of East London Management Professor, thank you for your welcoming remarks. Excellencies, High Commissioners, Ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, I would like to express our profound gratitude to the University of East London for so generously hosting this VIP opening night for the John Bird Nelson Mandela, a life journey exhibition. We are deeply thankful to President and President for facilitating our initial contact with the university. As you can see, it's full of life, and it's good to be in this presence all the time. I've already been deeply passionate about ensuring Madiba's legacy, that it is kept alive for future generations. And it is entirely true that tonight's program includes the tribute to Nelson Mandela through special readings from the House of Commons for tribute to Nelson Mandela, which he initiated in 1999 to mark Mandela's retirement. I would also like to extend our sincere appreciation to the owner of the collection, David Tann. We thank him for graciously agreeing to lend us all 16 of the paintings free of charge, and for his invaluable assistance in facilitating their transportation from the Everard Red London, where they are usually housed. Special words of gratitude also goes to Professor Kenneth and his team for the exceptional organization and commitment which has provided a perfect stage to celebrate the spirit of Nelson Mandela and commemorate playing watershed national milestone in South Africa. This being the 50th anniversary of the Racial Uprising in 1972, the 30th anniversary of the South African Constitution of 1996, and the 70th anniversary of the Women's March of 1996. It is my distinct privilege to introduce our keynote speaker for this evening, the Honorable Gayton McKenzie, as South Africa's Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture since July 2024. Minister McKenzie has brought a dynamic and deeply authentic leadership style to this portfolio. The commitment of publisher, businessman, and a charismatic leader, Minister Gayton McKenzie, is one of South Africa's most well-known and respected. Having dedicated himself to fully improving and transforming access to sporting and creative sector opportunities for young people and to state up the democratic dividend for those already working in this sector. Minister McKenzie is passionately dedicated to utilizing South Africa's rich cultural, artistic, and sporting heritage to unify people across all walks of life, making his insight incredibly fulfilling for an exhibition celebrating Madiba's Memorial Day. We are also deeply honored by the presence of Honorable Patricia Vernon and our Parliament, our esteemed Minister of Tourism. As some of you might know, Minister Leo is a revered veteran of South African staff. Having spent decades in the front lines fighting for justice, equality, and the democratic freedoms we celebrate today. The lifelong dedication to public service and human rights beautifully mirrors the spirit of Nelson Mandela's legacy. Having both Minister McKenzie and Minister MBE with us tonight underscores the profound significance of young leaders pursuing this scholarship. Please join me in welcoming Minister Kingsley to the podium. Thank you.
Ambassador, I was extending on the existing protocols that have been mentioned. Ambassador spoke about being well known in South Africa. I'm not so sure about that because when I was appointed as the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, we were told to go to Cape Town. I was jumping on the plane. There was a lot of young people. All of them wanted pictures with me, to the great annoyance of one particular old lady in the plane. Everything in the plane came to a standstill, the kids were taking selfies. I could see this lady highly annoyed with all this noise and this children are making. As fate would have it, I was seated next to the young old lady. And I sat next to her old white lady. Says to me, who are you? I seriously said, I'm David McKenzie. And I want to apologize for the consternation. She said, what do you do for a living? And I thought, I'm going to have fun. I said, I'm an actor. She said, I watch TV all the time. Which show? I realized she might be watching TV all the time, but she doesn't want lectures. So I said, Movando. She's a problem like story. And she says, oh, thanks God. I said, you love Movando? She said, no. I thought you were a young politician. I said, oh, no. She said, I hate them. They steal, they lie, they are the worst of humanity, and the elves are saying, and she said, Minister, chicken or beef? I said, And she said, Minister, water or juice or coke? I said, anything. And she said, why are they calling you minister? I said, because I am a church. And it's time for us to pray. Yes, every 10 minutes happen. So I must know when you speak about being well known, I have great fun. Going to all these big events and being a minister, I was introduced the other day. They got the series wrong. There was 2 McKenzies. So the one McKenzie was extremely educated. And the MC, the program director, got our name wrong. And she said, Mr. Gayton McKenzie, he's got an MBA from a top university. He's got a PhD, and I have none of that. And she said, can we put our heads together for Mr. McKenzie? And I walked to the stage thinking, how do I identify this? Because I don't have an MBA, I don't have a PhD. I just took the mic and I said, well, I have an MBA, I have a PhD, but for different times. My MBA stands for married but available. My PhD stands for past high school with difficulties. So those are the fun times to be able to ministers and people that speak regularly. Why are we here today? Why is it that government has sent such a strong delegation to the UK? Why is it that more ministers are flying in to the UK for this event? I want to talk about why. Because we are here to come and say thank you. We are here to come and say thank you to the ordinary people of the United Kingdom. We are here to come and say thank you to the ordinary people that helped with the release of Nelson Mandela. We are here to come and tell you that our freedom would have totally been incomplete if it wasn't for the ordinary people living in this side of the world. I would like to share a story of a cashier lady working at a store called Down Store in Ireland. She was a ordinary lady, got a job at the supermarket, and she worked. Every day her job is to ring the stuff that people are buying. Her name is Mary Manning. Mary Manning did this for a living. And on one particular day, she was busy. One customer approached her with lots of groceries. And Mary saw, and as she was reading the groceries, she saw made in Cape Town or drove in Cape Town. And she couldn't, and she said to the lady, I'm sorry, I'm not going to ring those. And the lady says, why? He says, because those tomatoes that you want to buy here in our store come from South Africa. And she says, so what? She says, in South Africa, black people are oppressed. Black people have no rights. Black people are treated subhumanly. Black people don't have the right to vote in South Africa. So I came up with a clear conscience. Do anything that assists the government through taxes, through trade. I refused to read this up. She said, call your manager. The store was called Down Store. And the manager was called. And he said to us, either you ring up this stuff right now, or you'll get fined. said, with all due respect, I'm not going to do this. And she was fired. The union immediately took up a case. The whole population went to the shop. They started boycotting the shop. And every other store in Ireland that had goods made in South Africa, which was a lot of stores, they started to send all those goods back. Songs were made about that incident. But the old lady has conscientized a nation. So when we come to events like this, we invoke big names, we invoke important people, but we forget that our struggle was won by ordinary people. And the biggest anti-apartheid movement group was here in the UK. The biggest. So when people talk and say Margaret Thatcher, because I've heard a lot of people say that Margaret Thatcher didn't support our fight and our struggle. That might well be true. But the majority of people in the UK are saying free Mandela. The majority of people in the UK gave money, and I want to tell you today where your money went to. The people in the UK gave the biggest amount. Ordinary people, from teachers to railway workers. That's why I'm here today. I'm not here to come and tell you about Nelson Mandela. Because if you don't know about Nelson Mandela, you don't deserve to hear anything more about it. I'm here today to come and tell you that you, the people of the United Kingdom, played a massive role. My mother had 3 brothers.
Yeah.
I tell you for my mother's brothers. My mother had 3 brothers in exile. And the youngest brother, Joe, died in exile. And this week, I had a very emotional moment in the UK. An extremely emotional moment, which I don't want to show the ambassador. I was fighting tears, I was thinking about my mother, because I met 2 champions of the anti-apartheid movement in the UK. I met 2 of the leaders of the anti-apartheid movement, but that's not why I was emotional. I was emotional because my mother used to get money. And when she asked, who's this money from, they say, we can't tell you. And everybody, the soldiers, the people that fought, used to get money. But they didn't know what the origin of the money, what it was. And I met the person who was responsible for that operation this week. She would take money from ordinary people in the UK. And they will take that money and they will clandestinely send that money to families. The breadwinners are fighting to liberate us South Africans. So how can we not come here to come and say thank you? You didn't support our struggle only in word. You supported with your pockets. You supported with your actions. And I want to say to you that nobody tell you that the UK was against our struggle. The UK played a major role in our struggle. When they locked Nelson Mandela up, they freed so many people in the UK to stand up for us. And those are the unsung heroes. So whenever ministers take platforms like this, they will talk about the great Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was great. But let me tell you something. Nelson Mandela would never have been released if it wasn't for the efforts of the anti-apartheid movement. The anti-apartheid mother tells you she wore a Free Mandela t-shirt. If your uncle tells you was part of the struggle, just know, stop looking for heroes. You have a hero in your house. It wasn't easy, it wasn't fashionable, it was a real liberty, but people in the UK, you stood up for us. You stood up for us. So taking the fight to come here is nothing compared to what people in the UK have done. I'm so tired of hearing that you hear Russia support us alone. No, they didn't. They did support us, but we cannot discount the role that the UK has played in our freedom. We are standing here today to tell you that we would not have been free if you didn't discount your own freedom and you talked about our freedom. Our freedom was won not by Nelson Mandela, but by many Nelson Mandelas, by people that found the Nelson Mandela in them in order for them to raise their voice. And I came here today as the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture and as the representative of the government of South Africa to come and sincerely thank you, to thank you guys for the role that you have played. Don't let anybody, any politician, whether it's myself or Minister Dilla or whoever, minimize the role that the people in the UK has played for us. You've paid the price for us to be free. You have had the biggest, the anti-apartheid movement was huge. It was everywhere. But nowhere was it bigger than in the UK. So don't take for me. Can we give a hand to every martyr, to every person that took a poster, that took a t-shirt, can never be rewritten. The truth of the matter is that I'm in the company of heroes. It is you guys. I stand here today as a minister because you stood up. Today we are free as a people because you stood up. Today Nelson Mandela and all his comrades were released from prison because you stood up. And you must never ever forget that. And I want to say to everybody here today, if nobody's ever told you, I want to say to you that thank you. And I'm not speaking for myself, I'm speaking for each and every South African that suffered at the hands of a brutal regime. You never forgot us. You stood up for us. You stood up for us. And if you ask the minister, the little why is she here? She's here to come and say thank you. If you ask Minister Lamuna tomorrow, why are you here? He's here to come and say thank you. You know, Nelson Mandela, I'll share a personal story about Nelson Mandela to you. My father used to be my hero until I was at the age of 7. My father. And it is unnatural for young boys not to see their father as heroes. But what apartheid has done, it has made sure that black men don't become alpha males. Make sure that black men must remain beta males. And none of them should become an alpha male. Because you cannot oppress an alpha male. The alpha male was stand up. And at the age of 7, I went with my father to his workplace. And my father's foreman slapped my father in front of me. Now for a 7-year-old boy, seeing your hero being slapped and he's not stepping back, it is an indescribable feeling of disappointment I had in my father. And I asked my father in the taxi back, why didn't you step back? Because if that man stepped me, I would step me back. And my father stepped me. And I said to my friends, he could have stepped the white man, but enough to step me. And I didn't understand. And I asked my mom. I said, Mommy, that man said then, why did they step back? My mom said, time will come when they step back. When Nelson Mandela comes out, I was 7 years old. When Nelson Mandela comes out, things are going to change. When Nelson Mandela comes out, we are going to take because we're going to have all these nice houses also. We're going to have nice buildings, we're going to have a nice life. We all grew up, and the majority of the people we see here grew up with, when Nelson Mandela comes out, we will take revenge. We grew up with that. It was in our DNA, and our revenge is for his way. When Nelson Mandela, we heard a few days before he released that he's coming out. I remember my mom saying to him, to go and buy bread. I happened to hear people dancing in the street, and I said, what's up? What's wrong? Why are you dancing? He said, Mandela's coming out this weekend. I said, what? For real? I came 12 p.m. home. My mom was livid because she sent me for bread. And she said, why the hell are you coming now? Where's the damn bread? I said, don't worry about bread, Mommy. I went to go look at some people of some white houses. I went to go look at a few white houses we can take. Mandela's coming out this weekend. And it took me some time because I choose more than one house because the day somebody by accident chose our house, but I thought that's a ground story, Mommy. You really like it. I stood in front of the TV like millions of black people expecting Mandela to say, take! I was ready. I asked my friend Denzel, why I'm going to get back there and standing in front of our house. And Mandela came out, we all expected him to say, it's time for revenge. And he didn't. He spoke a language that irritated us. He spoke a language that we never expected from him. I cannot remember when last I was so disappointed in a man. Probably when my father was dead was the last time I was so disappointed in a man. Where I was disappointed in Nelson Mandela. And I wasn't alone. Mandela did 3 things. It sounds you might not know about something he shares with you. Mandela spoke reconciliation. He spoke reconciliation. He said we will work together. We will build one nation. We are one people. We must forgive and we must move on. Because we love Mandela, we revere Mandela, we respect our leaders. We didn't say anything, but we were not happy. The people like Mandela, that has long been in politics, they were happy. Because they understood better than some of us and they were more fortunate than us. So we all looked at another leader called Cuxima-Zwa. That this man, the sooner this man becomes president, the better. Mandela has disappointed us. Cuxima-Zwa was the hero of the youth. But the second thing that Nelson Mandela did, the day that they shot Cuxima-Zwa, and the British newspapers didn't tell this part of the story. The day they shot Cuxima-Zwa and they killed him, our leaders told us, it's time to drive white people back to the sea. South Africa has never come so close to civil war than that specific day. AK-47s appeared out of nowhere. We knew we were going to kill white people, and we were going to do what we would have done, what we should have done a long time ago. And we got the message that all of us must watch TV. I think it was 2 p.m. 2 p.m. we should all watch TV. And all of us, with our excellency, we said, we're now going to get the sign from which angle we should attack. And Nelson Mandela appeared on the screen, and he said, the first words was honey to my ears. The second one was a dagger to my heart. He said, a white man killed Chris Hani. I said, yes! And he said, a white woman told us about the white man. And because the white woman spoke, we managed to arrest the white man. Put your weapons down. White people are not available. And that was the second disappointment for some of us. Because you hear political leaders coming to the stages and telling you how they always agreed with Nelson Mandela. It's a lie. I'm telling you today, I disagree vehemently with you. And many thousands of people, millions of people that also. The third thing Nelson Mandela did, in South Africa, the pride of white people was the Springboks. Don't you know? That was the pride. White people love the Springboks as much as they love their family. We would go against anything that plays against the Springboks. We would pray, meditate, well, I wasn't meditating that time, but we would wish, whatever we do, for the Springboks to lose. Whenever the Springboks lose, it will become a great day for us. The All Blacks was in the habit of regularly beating the Springboks. So many people, I remember Trevor Manuel had been called to order by Nelson Mandela. Because even after democracy, him, myself, and a lot of other people were still wearing the All Black t-shirts. I stopped wearing the All Black t-shirts I think 15 years into democracy. 20 years into democracy. In the Western Cape, the majority of people there were All Blacks. I'm mentioning this to you so you can understand the extent of the hatred for the Springboks. And Nelson Mandela came and he said, we said the Springbok emblem must go. And Nelson Mandela stood with the Springbok people and he said, this emblem is going nowhere. We were furious. We saw that as the ultimate betrayal. How can this man say this emblem that caused so much hurt, so much degradation, so much exclusion should remain? And Nelson Mandela was unmovable. He listened to no reason. Leaders in the ANC went to see him privately to say, Tata, we have to change this emblem. The people want this emblem changed. He said, over my dead body, this emblem is going nowhere. I go to those three stories before my second point today. A leader should have vision. A leader should lead. A leader should not be told how to lead. Nelson Mandela has successfully led us, because if you listen to me and everybody else that thought like I thought, our country, it has been Armageddon. If we took white people's houses, property rights would have not existed. And when property rights don't exist, there's no country. So there would have been no country. If Nelson Mandela had listened to us, that we should go and kill white people after Kasari died, there would have been a genocide in our country. There would have been a genocide. So that's the second thing. very same emblem that we wanted to get rid of as a country. Today, 30 years after Nelson Mandela said, over my dead body, that emblem is the source today of our happiness index rising. That emblem today brings joy to us. That emblem today represents us as a country. That emblem today, I went to China and they were speaking about table tennis, the ministers, and how good China is. And he looked at me, the Chinese minister said, how's the table tennis in your country? The table tennis is not that good. I said, well, we're getting there, but how's the rugby in your country? And it has become our pride and joy. The Springboks has won the World Cup multiple times. The Springboks has become our North Star when it comes to reintegration, when it comes to social cohesion. Now I'm mentioning this to you to show you the visionary of the leader. A leader that Nelson Mandela was. Nelson Mandela, you cannot mention, you shouldn't mention, without mentioning Mama Winnie Mandela. That is something that people are scared to say. I cannot come here and mention Nelson Mandela because that would be half the story. The full story is Winnie Mandela was a hero that faced the apartheid regime every single day. Winnie Mandela kept the home fires burning when Nelson Mandela could not light the fire. It was Winnie Mandela that made us believe. It was Winnie Mandela. So I want to, there's a media onslaught that tried to change the narrative that Winnie Mandela was a criminal. Winnie Mandela was a killer. Winnie Mandela was loose cannon. That is the furthest from the truth. Our struggle, when our struggle heroes were in exile, when our struggle heroes were in prison, Winnie Mandela dealt single-handedly, leading us to fight against the apartheid regime. When the youth of 1976 rose and they said, we are going to take on this regime, they were inspired by Winnie Mandela. So if anybody ever tell you that Winnie Mandela played a small part, you must know you're dealing with a person that was to alter history. History demands of us to tell it truthfully. And the truth of the matter is there would have been no Mandela if he was married to any other woman. There's a Mandela because he was married to Winnie, not Mandela. For the Christians that are here, I want to tell you, the Bible speaks about the Esther. That was Winnie Mandela. The Bible speaks about the Ruth. That was Winnie Mandela. So I cannot come here and give you half the story. I have to give you the full story. And it also be honest of me to come here in front of this esteemed guest here and not talk about what's making the headlines. I have to talk about the genocide accusations against South Africa. I have to talk about xenophobia. Because I cannot come here and not speak about it. You have a right to know because you are invested and you've invested in our freedom. So I will start with the genocide. I can categorically tell you that my best friend is white, Charles. Charles is for the purposes of proof. He's white. He said to me today, I can't wait to get home. We've been away for a month, 2 months. says, I cannot wait to get home. This is a white South African that says to you, I cannot wait to get home. Now that sentence alone must tell you, there's no white person who will say, I can't wait to get back to the genocide. I might be lucky that you that's not around. I went to speak in America and to speak about the genocide issue. But before me, one of the executives of Delta Airlines spoke. And he was speaking about how they have now got many flights to South Africa. They used to have only one flight. I think they got 6 now. Came down to Johannesburg. And he was talking about, we have 6 flights. And it was my turn to speak. I said, ladies and gentlemen, what do you want me to say? Here's the CEO or executive said, he just told you, he went from 1 flight to 6 flights in the past 12 months. Do you really think he's going there for genocidal tourism? To go and see how people are being killed? It is the biggest balderdash. It is absolute nonsense. There's no way to describe it. It is bullshit. There's no better way to tell you. If you've ever heard bullshit, bullshit is when you tell you that South Africa, there's a genocide happening in South Africa. The very same messages, the messages of the bullshit, the bullshit message of genocide. So let me just get the word right. The bullshit message of genocide will slide into America, go to the White House or whatever house they're going to them. Then they slide right back to the genocidal country being white. The first people that any man will protect is your wife and your children. Who leaves their wife and children behind and say, I'm coming now, I'm just going to report the genocide. You want to get yourself killed now, get it back. So it's absolute nonsense. The second issue, which are going to be very useful, is painful. African countries take a massive role in our relations now. African countries gave shelter to our leaders. Ethiopia gave a passport to Nelson Mandela and renamed him David Tann. Morocco gave money to our struggle. Zambia hosted. The same was Zimbabwe. We should pay the huge price to host our leaders. And we became free. Angola, the same. When we became free, we had certain expectations as South Africans. Free education, illegal foreigners start streaming into our country. They started to stream into our country. We have warned the ANC government multiple times. I led that fight. I was on the forefront in the country. I coined the term Mama. And we said we are going to have a crisis. That was long before I was in government. I'm in government now, I have a voice. And I found very similar voices in government hesitating for law and order. Our prison population, I'm going to give you 2 states. The first state is that youth unemployment is sitting close to 50%. Our youth don't have jobs. It's a recipe for disaster. 40% of our youth don't have jobs. The second stat I want to give you is that 20% of our prison population convicted are illegal foreigners. But I repeat that, 20% of our prison population is convicted illegal foreigners. The world expects us to allow illegal foreigners to work in our country. You cannot run a country with not knowing who's in your country. When somebody gets killed, we can't find the person because they are not documented. Now, countries like Ghana says we are xenophobic. Ladies and gentlemen, I served under a man called Sir Patrick Vernon. No one in our country was as close to the teachings of Nelson Mandela than Sir Patrick. The night when nobody knew how Nelson Mandela looked, a day before his release, Sir Ramaphosa formed part of the delegation to go and help Nelson Mandela to write a speech. He told me that they were sitting there, he showed me, Minister, we were sitting here. We didn't know of all the people that could come out of that one room, which one is Mandela. And he said, we found out, we knew instantly who Mandela was. I said, how did you know? He says, the regalness, the way he walked, without saying a word, he knew this Nelson Mandela. So back to the point, the jobs that are usually reserved for our young people are being taken by illegal foreigners. Government, in the State of the Nation of the President, he made it very clear that government will now ask people to go home. And I want to say to you in conclusion that 18,000 Malawians decided by themselves they're going home because they don't have papers in our country. That's one country. We have a problem with it. Now I end by telling you today, every struggle will be exploited by people with sinister motives. I'm not standing here and saying there are not people that assault illegal foreigners. I'm not standing here saying there are not people that are criminalizing the just call for illegal foreigners to go. But I came here to tell you that South Africa is still standing for business of reconciliation. South Africa is still standing for business of honoring the legacy of Mandela. I came here today to tell you, thank you,